Hello, Theo. By golly, you are first. Ah, I just got off with Dog. He said he was headed to the recliner. Yankee Living is second. Hello, my friend. I was with Iron Dog. He just got off. I had just come in here, sat down, was going to do a live stream, and I seen that Iron Dog was on, so I got on with him until he went off. And of course, it was a good time. It was only about a half hour for me, but he gets up early at 5. That's 4 o'clock my time. I can't make it. Uh, all longa. Hello, Coping. Kathy, how are you? Let's see. I'm just going to call you HD because I can't pronounce that whole name. So, welcome to the evening live chat. Thank you very much for coming by. You're tired. I can relate to that. I think I'm getting too much sleep. I really do. I I check my machine and it says I'm getting like 8 hours of sleep. And then right after I watch my noon show, I got to go sleep. Hello, John John. And it just, instead of getting more energy, I'm more tired. I need to start working in the yard, but I can't do that because it's been so cold. Hello, Miss Pam. Cat's got her tongue. She didn't say nothing. Yeah, they're talking about snow here maybe this weekend. They said snow for Easter. I couldn't believe it. Sunday night, when we got up Monday morning, there was a scuff of snow. It wasn't on the roads, but it was on the roofs and the decks. Yeah, I got my fountains going, and there was just a little bit of ice on one of them fountains. The fountain was running, but where the water would hit where the fountain, the water would hit, it froze there. Hello, Greg. Heavy on that mister. Yes, sir. Mr. Fyffe. Greg, are you getting ready to go to work, or you was off today? Because it's 10 o'clock for you. Okay. Is it on my About page? Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, Kathy. I will take that in consideration, but they have phones, and he's got my number, and it's not blocked. Okay, that's all I'll say. It is 9:12 there. I thought you was an hour ahead of me. So, Kathy, how have you been doing? Other than you've been tired and your hands with the neuropathy. Same time. Okay. Well, I guess Wisconsin's different than Michigan. Oh, you got a new snake. Cool. Have you made a video of him? Hey, Bill. Thank you for coming over. Um, I I was bus to you before, but everybody in the chat, if you would be so kind, let me post a link for you. Hello, Ken. Here's a link for Bill 56. If you'd like to check his channel out, show him some channel love, it'd be great. He's got 102 buses. Okay, Kathy said that she did. Cool. Oh, you did make a video. Okay, I got you. Well, I'll have to check out your video, Kathy. Let me do that real quick. Amber Rose. Wow. She looks pretty. I guess it's a she. Yeah, she is pretty. I just bookmarked that video so I can find it, and I'll check it out later. I played it for a little bit, but I don't want to lose what's going on in the chat. There's Iron Dog. Thank you for inviting me on the chat, Iron Dog. I appreciated it. I'll catch you a little bit of you in the morning. I don't get up at no 4 o'clock. Yeah, everybody needs help, Bill. There's a lot of people that's helped me. Hello, Tara. Ah, hello, Brian. Well, I could think of both of them, but I don't want to say, well, maybe I could say one, but the other one I don't think I want to say on here, Brian or Ken, I mean. Hello, Bobby Sprinkle. Yes, thank you very much, Iron Dog. Food Force. Hello, Howie. Let's see. Okay, Bobby wrote, you missed that what I said this morning. Hey, Tara, I'm doing fine. Pam's feeling a lot better now. Yeah, Kathy, I do too. Yes, I do too. Okay, so Bobby, what did I miss this morning? Tell me again. Uh, is Christopher in here? Oh, Christopher, I missed you in the chat. Good evening to you, Christopher. Okay, Bobby, that'd be good. No, I did miss that, what you said. I thought you was talking about, and it was on Dog's channel, so I didn't want to say much. You said that you was for Trump, and I said, I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to say about that, man. I don't want to get nothing started, but that I thought that's what you was talking about. So next week, starting the 16th, you're going to start doing lives. That'd be good. Um, okay, Kathy, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for the message. And Bobby, thank you so much for coming on our live stream tonight. I appreciate it. Bye, Kathy. Sleep tight. So, Food Force, you talked about getting another computer. Did you get another computer? Yes, Bobby, you jump right on there. I'll try to support you what I can. Oh, are you on it now? And did you get a an Apple or well? Okay, wait a minute. I was saying, Bobby, to you, yes, do your live streams. I will try to support you what I can. And Food Force was saying he was going to get a new computer, I think. MacBook Pro. Okay. Are you on it now? And if you are, how do you like it? Well, Tara, you can't talk politics because nobody can agree. But I did vote. But I didn't vote for the man that's in there now. My personal opinion, I think he's a joke. I've never seen a president on there pat himself on the back all the time. Oh, I do so good, but I ain't done a thing. Okay, that's all I got to say. You cannot use it yet, Food Force says. Okay, John. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's my opinion. Okay. Well, you'll learn it. I I can't tell you. I've never used an Apple product as far as a computer. I do have a little iPhone or an iPod that's an Apple, but it's not like a computer. I don't know where it's at now. I don't even use it anymore. I got music on it. It played well when I used it. Okay, John, I know. I'm with you. Well, they say it when you look at the movies or something, where the actors they've always got that Apple uh, laptop they're using, and the batteries in them supposed to last longer and stuff like that. Good deal, Food Forest. Yeah, I know. I know you can't say. You got to be careful. But they claim they're pretty good. But it's whatever you get used to, Food Forest. Once you get used to it, it'll be a dream. And I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like Windows 10." Well, I really can't see a whole lot of difference. It's just as far as using it, there's no difference. I mean, it's how you store stuff and how you go look about looking at up stuff and what have you. That's the difference in the Windows. Yeah, once you once you learn it, Hallie, you'll probably like it. But I've always used the Windows product, Microsoft. Oh, I'm learning every day, Hallie, every day. And I have learned a lot on YouTube just from people talking to people on the chat and in the live streams. Plus, if I'm doing something, I'll instead of Googling it, I might Google it too, but I'll look it up on YouTube and there will be somebody that has done it and show you almost step by step how to do things. Well, Ken, the long guy, I still got one of these phones. I didn't get it from Obama. I got it from consumer. Well, let's see. I got consumer cellular now, but I got it. It's a penny phone that I got from Cellular One, and they went out of business. They don't even give you these penny phones anymore. I give a penny for that phone, and it works great. I did buy another battery for it. I did buy another battery because the one I had just wouldn't hold charge anymore. Uh, Ken, that's me. My sister and brother-in-law, everybody has a smartphone. I don't need one. I've got I've got a computer here. Now it's not a gaming computer, but it's one of the best computers that money could buy. As far as it's got 8 gigs of RAM and a i3 processor and a terabyte hard drive, all that. I can do everything. Look, and I would say 80% of the time I'm at home. So, or even more than that, because I'm usually not away from home during the week, but about an hour a day. And this phone works great. I can talk to you. You can call it, or I can talk to you. That's all I need. It works great. Okay, Greg, have a good night. They'll still work. Yep. Well, I wouldn't want to drop this very far, but it it really has been a good one. And no more than I use it, I charge it about twice a week. I just watch the battery. Now, if I'm going to go somewhere, for the day, I make sure I charge it the night before, just in case, because I don't want to leave the house without it. Even if I just go to the store, I'll get to the store and think, now what did she tell me I needed? Now I'll say, well, now what was it? You told me to get such and such. Well, there's 10 kinds, and I know I'll get the wrong kind. Oh my heavens. You dropped it in water and it still works. Wow. Well, I hope I never drop it in water, but I try to take good care of it. But we had a place here in town. It was Cellular One, and that's where I got the phone. And I was given $40+ a month for the same thing as I've got now. Actually, only so many minutes. And I kept seeing Consumer Cellular on TV, so I called them, and it's $19 and something, and then we got AARP, and you get a $2 deal off of that, and so many. Let's see, I think it's like $2 for 300 Texas. I've got that. So to get to the whole big ballpark of things, it's $26 a month through Consumer Cellular. And people say, well, do you have service everywhere? I have had service everywhere except one place, but I have been to San Juan, Puerto Rico. That's American soil, and it worked excellent. I called home from San Juan, Puerto Rico to a couple of different people, and it worked fine. But for some reason, we went up northwest of here, way up by the river, and it wouldn't work up there. But other than that, it's been working great. And I thought, well, why should I give them $40 for that high tech service when this service here will work? And it does. And you can use it with your smartphone. Now, it would cost you more on a smartphone because you're using data. But now I've got unlimited calling, and I think I've got 300 texts. Okay, I'm going to have to go to the little boy's room. I will be back. Don't nobody run off. Okay, I'm back. Well, when I was food force, when I was working for the last 4 years that I was working, my boss, I was foreman, and he gave me a flip phone, something similar to this from the same company. Okay, so when I quit, I took all my contacts and I had to write them down, but I stored them. I stored the names and the numbers of all my contacts in my computer. And before I turned the phone in, I wiped everything off of my phone that I could. And that day that I quit and I turned their phone in, I went and got this phone the same day. And the only reason why I did, my sister says, "Oh, you've been with phone. You'll miss it if you don't have one." And I thought, well, she might be right. And I do like that security that if I'm somewhere, if I need help, I can call on the phone. You never know. I could fall down or, I could call and say, "Hey, I've fallen and I can't get up." This phone don't have snake on it. The other phone that they had, okay, Food Force, take care. Okay, Food Force, if I have any tips, I'll try to give you tips. We can always look it up. Yep. Just remember, you can always get on your other computer and ask questions. How do I do this? Or once you learn, you can always ask questions on the computer. And by the way, this is just water. Man, I'm so dry. Woo! It just don't have snake on it. It don't have games on it. I don't know, Ken. I'll have to look into that. On that other phone, I used it all the time. I played that game for hours instead of working. Did Bobby leave? Bobby, you still in here? Great, Tara. Yeah, you're still here. Good deal, Bobby. Well, they claim that the 220 is a better hot tub to use. Our hot tub is only 110 volt, but at the time, our electric wasn't good enough. I only had 60 amp service. Well, now I've got 200 amp, and I run a new line to the hot tub, but it seems to work pretty good. But it just doesn't have the powerful jets like the big 220 pumps do. But this one works good. My service was old, man. I know, but they are expensive. I think that Pam bought this one at the patio show in Indianapolis, and it was about $5,000. I've done everything as far as upkeep and stuff on it. The old one went out. Well, I've updated the service in the on the outside and the inside. And we moved the outside meter box to the other side of the house. And then we run the service cable from the new box over to the new panel down in the basement. And now we've got 40 slots. In other words, we can have 40 breakers, but some of them are double. So when you have the 220 breaker, that uses 2 spots. And I still haven't used them all. Oh man. Well, ours was 60 and it had the big tubes. Well, we moved the electric box, but we didn't have to pay the electric company to do it. I just paid a guy here local to install it for me. And then after I got the outside and the inside done, then I started running my circuits. You know, I got one circuit for the refrigerator, one for the computer, one for the TV in the living room, one for the microwave, one for the where we plug the dishwasher in, one on the other side of the sink. You know, everything's separate. Of course, the stove is 220, so it's on its own circuit. Um, Wait a minute. Is that the same for all of Illinois? I don't know if it's for all of Illinois, just in this area. And our electric and our gas and our water are three different services. And our electric is Ameren CIPS. Well, whenever you get your stove, you will probably want to hook it up to uh, 40 amp breaker, and 30 amp is 10 gauge wire. So I'd say you would have to use at least 8 gauge wire for your 40 amp uh, stove. Okay, we have Ameren here. Ameren CIPS. Okay. Okay. Ours is not how you pronounce it. Ours is CIPS. Good deal. Well, when I first bought this house, I didn't know what to do, but I did a lot of learning over the years. Okay, Bobby, have a good night. Tara, just a minute. Let me, I'll show you what I had. That opens up. There's what I had. And these are 20 amp. Or no, these are 60 amp. So each one of these lines are 60 amps. And that puts a lot of strain on 15 amp or 15 gauge wire. That's why it's so. And then see, all of them went over to a knife switch like that. So I don't know how many knife switches I had. This right here was 100 amp that I hooked up temporary. It's not there now. I took it out. That's some pictures of my hot tub there. That's one of the motors I had to replace. I'll get to the electric again. Okay, this is them hooking up my new service. Okay, this is my old box that is gone now. None of this is there. But that's my meter box that I'm still using. Okay, this is my new box. And this is 200 amp. And this is when he's disconnecting it. This is my house. The meter was behind this tree. Now it's over here. Right here on this side of the wall here. I hope you're following me. Okay. Now here's my new meter box downstairs in the basement. And this is just when I first hooked it up. There's still wires like this, but a whole bunch more now. Okay, there it is open. And see, I'm not even using them all. But there's 40 slots, 20 on the side. Okay, and that's how I've got my computer hooked up. I got two of these battery backups, one for each computer. Okay. All right. Let me see if you ask questions. My other box was 240 volts, but it was only 60 amp. Now it's still 240 volts, but it's 200 amp. And the way it makes it 240 volts is you got 120 volts, you got 120 and 120 two poles coming in together. That makes 240. That's right, Brian. You're explaining it perfect. Well, we just bought this new electric stove. That's kind of what caused us to get new electric and everything. And it's an electric, and I've got I've got the 8 gauge wire running to it, but I've only got it hooked up on 30 amp breaker. I figured if it would run on 30 amp, it would be safer as to put the 40 amp in. So I thought, well, I'll try it. We've baked, used the stove, the whole 9 yards, and it hasn't kicked off at all. Okay, I guess if it's a gas stove, it would go on 110 volts. But our stove is a 220. So it's got 2 poles, 30 amp. If it throws one, it throws them both. It throws both lines. You don't want to hook them up separately, because if you'd hook it up on 2 single pole 30 breakers and it threw one side, it wouldn't throw the other, and it'd still have power to it. And you'd think, well, it's dead. Well, that's when you get killed, getting in there working on something and it still be hot. That's good deal, Tara. But I had my microwave hooked up wrong. I had it what they call reverse polarity, and when you touch it, it kind of tingle, bite you. They don't do that now, because one side, you always want to put the white on one side and the black on the other side on the receptacles. You don't want to get them separate. That's where you get your reverse polarity. Yeah, they do have 3 phase, but I have nothing in my house that's 3 phase. Now at work we had a DeWalt radial arm saw. It was 220 3 phase. It was huge. Health Journey, hello. Well, I'm glad you came on to support me, Health Journey. Well, Tara, I don't understand about the 3 phase, but uh, like our 220 DeWalt saw, it had 3 hot wires coming in. So it's 330. You got 310 wires coming in. Now, where they run them, I don't know. But this guy that I had hook up uh, this panel, and the guy that you seen in the picture was the electric man. He came and hooked the hot wire. He took the old one down and hooked it to this one. And while he was doing it, the whole house was dead. Had no electric in the house whatsoever. And then after we got everything hooked up, then this guy started running wires and hooking the house up. And then later I got to looking and I had too many on one circuit. So I started taking them out and redoing them. And like I said, I run one to the computer, one to the refrigerator, one to the microwave. Of course, the stove has its own, the dryer has its own, and the washer the washing machine's got its own. One wire for 220. Well, in the US, you actually have to have three wires for 240 volt. You got two hot wires and then a neutral. In the UK, I would be lost. So how do you break it down to 110, Alex? And red. You have a red wire also. Your white is neutral. You have black and red, and then your ground. You have a red wire for your 220. A transformer box to come back down to 110. Yeah. Well, the red is usually used for your 220, like for your dryer and your electric stove. You may, if you've got a gas dryer, you probably only have 110 running to it for your blower. We have green earth, blue neutral, and brown live. Wow, that's totally different than the US. And the electric service that I had no ground wire or ground rod. I had no ground rod. The whole upstairs has just got two wires. No ground up there. I'm talking about the attic. Now I couldn't change that because I just couldn't get up there to do that. And the only thing that's up there is the electric lights. I took everything off that circuit that I could and run it through the basement. Okay. Well, I would say it had a red wire. Yep. The black and the red, all colors, are hot and the white is neutral. Well, the green's not hot. The green is ground. Yeah, that's it, Alexander. You got two 110s, gives you your 220. And the way I hooked up my new line, I would always hook up the other end from the box first, and I hooked my black and my white and my ground to the receptacle on this side. Then I would go to the box and I'd hook up my ground first, then my neutral, and then I would take the breaker box out and I'd hook my black to it first before I put it in the panel. Then I would turn it on. I wouldn't hook it, I wouldn't hook up the hot wire while the breaker was in the panel. I'd take the breaker out and hook it up, and that'd be the last wire I hooked up. That way everything else was dead until I hooked that hot wire up. Oh yeah, three-way circuit is fun. Now, like I said, if you do it that way, the way I said, I always hooked it. I run the wire and I hooked it up into the panel the last. I'd hook the ground wire, keep all the ground separate to the neutrals. It's the same thing, but it's different. You put all your neutral white wires on one side, and then you put all your grounds separate on a different thing. And then I would hook up my hot wire very last. Because as long as you don't touch any of the hot wires, you can handle them neutral and the grounds. I wouldn't stand in water and do it, but they won't bite you. And when I hooked up my hot wire, it was still dead. I'd have the breaker in my hand, and I could hook my hot wire up to it, and then put the panel or put the breaker in the panel. No water. No. I'm glad you guys are interested in this because I did this about a year ago. A year ago last October, and I'm tickled to death that I got it done because I was really worried about it. You know, from the power company, you got three wires coming in. Well, thank you, Health Journey. You didn't have to do that. Thank you very much. But hello, YT. But the ground wire, where not their wire, but where it hooked to my wire, it had a whole bunch of strands of wire. And when we took it down, they were all broke but three, and they just crumbled. I don't know how I was getting electric. I have no idea. No, don't want to handle two hot wires at the same time. But see, this hot wire was dead because I hadn't hooked it up yet. No, it didn't seem to. Before I got it changed, no, it didn't seem to. Exactly right. That's right, Health Journey. Make sure no wires touch. But mainly the wires that I changed and hooked up new, I let him hook up the big picture. And then I just hooked up the 110 wires is all I really messed with. He hooked up that 4-aught wire stuff. I didn't want no part of that. All right, okay, Alexander, have a good night. Now I did hook up a 220 electric heater down here in the basement, and of course I had a double pole breaker, and I did it the same way. I hooked up my neutral first, and it didn't have no place for ground. And I hooked it up, and then I had my double pole breaker out in my hand and hooked the two hot wires to it first with the breaker off. Then I put the breaker in the panel and clicked it in. Then I flipped the breaker on. Then I went and checked it, and everything was working fine. But I wasn't actually touching the hot wire, either one of them, while they was hot. Oh my God, with a wet rag. Woo! No kidding. Yeah, you don't have to be told the second time. One application of that is a very learning experience. Don't touch that no more. Thank God you could turn loose of it. Don't do that either. Don't put a 9 volt to your tongue. I did that one time when I was younger and stupid. That burns. I don't want a taser either. I only did it one time with a 9 volt. It was like it was hot and it burnt me. Oh my. Well, you can take I don't know about a 9 volt, but you can take a double A and a triple A and a B and a C battery and you can drop it. And I forgot whether if it bounces, if it's alive or not, but one way it'll bounce and one way it won't. And one or the other way, you can look it up on the internet. One if it bounces, it's one way, and if it don't, it's the other way. Oh no, Brian, don't put it on your tongue. Well, Tara, I won't put none to my tongue again. Yeah, step away from the batteries. You're about right. But anyhow, I forgot what it was, but if it bounces or if it's just a you know a dud and it just falls down, that tells you whether it's got power in it or not. Oh no. Well, I'd like to see you do it. Did you do it, Brian? I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny, but I did it with a 9-volt battery a long time ago. It's been long. Yep. Did it burn you? It just felt like it burnt my tongue. A little tingle. Okay. Meaner than dirt. I won't ever do it again. One application taught me. The way I check it to see if it works, I plug it in. If whatever I plugged it in works, it's okay. My. But anyhow, Tara, let's get back to the hot tub. I hope that you get one. You'll really enjoy it. It helped me a lot. Yeah. I just had to change my smoke detectors. I got one in the basement, one in by the bedroom, and they both went to chirping within a week apart. And I went to the Dollar Tree and bought two batteries, two 9-volt batteries for $1. We'll see how it works. They're working now. Yes, it helps for that. Now, with temperatures outside like this, we run at about 104 degrees. And we go out there, and the doctor will tell you you should only sit in it for 20 minutes. Now, we sit in it until we get tired of it. But usually 1 cup of coffee, you know. That would be a good way. You wouldn't. You would not be able to use Epsom salts in a hot tub because you treat it with chemicals. And I drain the water out of mine every 6 months. And there's a chemical that I put in it and run it for, oh, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. It cleans all the pipes out. I use chlorine and I use Spall Up, or no, yeah, it depends. I use chlorine and I use Bright and Clear and either Spall Up or Spall Down. And Pam will check it because I have trouble with colors. I'm not totally color blind, but she'll tell me, well, you need Spall Up or Spall Down. And then every 6 months, I'll take the filter out and I'll put this cleaner in it, and it cleans all the pipes and stuff. It'll the water will turn. It'll have green in it because of the chemicals or the settlement and stuff in the pipes. And then I drain it, clean it out real good, and put it back in. And then you have to use this one chemical that takes all the iron, all the metal and stuff out of your water, and it's called Metal Gone. Put that in there, and then you're good. Okay. Do you see different shades? Oh, I can see different shades, but these test strips are real close. Oh, I can see red and green and blue and all that, but when they're real close, I have a little bit of trouble telling. So it's just easier. I hand it to her and she dips it in the water and she says, well, you need up or down, you know. I've done a lot of stuff to maintain the hot tub, and we check it once a week, and I change the filter. And I use the same filters, but I have one filter that I washed out and drying. It's already dry, and it'll be good to go this Saturday. See, then I just switch them, and then I'll wash it out. And then this time when I drain the hot tub, I got this one chemical. I put both of my filters in a 5 gallon bucket and fill it up and put this chemical in it and let them soak overnight. So at that time, I won't have a filter in the hot tub. But this will be before I drain the water, so it won't make any difference anyhow. And then I'll rinse them out and let them dry. And then after I change the water, then I'll put one back in the hot tub. Well, I'm not totally colorblind. My sister is. She is for a fact. I just have different, I have trouble with different shades sometimes. Like, this is blue and this is red and this is purple and this is brown, and this is yellow. I know all them colors, but you'd have to see this strip that I'm talking about to see what I'm talking about. It's just easier to let her check it for me. Okay. You said, wow, I'll probably ask again or rewatch it because my friend, okay. I may just make a video on how I drain it and how I clean it and update it. But the only thing that I do different that she tells me is either the pH is up or down, and I'll either put up in it or down in it. It comes in a separate bottle. I've got one video where I treated the water. I forget what the name of it is, but I just put the bright and clear and the chlorine in it, and I usually do that. Yep, that's what I do. I siphon it out. I don't have a drain at the bottom of my tub, and I've got two garden hoses that I'll put in it to siphon it out. Yeah, I'm not too far from where the hot tub is to the street, so I can just run it out to the street, and it don't run next. It don't run down past the neighbors. It stays on me from where I drain it to the city drain. So I don't run it like a 4 blocks, before it hits a drain. If I did it that way, I'd probably get in trouble because the neighbor wouldn't like me running water past their house. But it takes about an hour to drain it because you don't have any pressure, see. And I'll put two garden hoses in it and stretch it out and suck on it, and let it go. Hello, Missy. You've changed your picture. Let me make sure I'm still bust to you then, since you changed that. Yep, got 387 buses, Missy. Hello, glad to see you. Hey, that's okay. Oh, Tara, are you leaving? Oh, good night, Tara. Um, I've used these Mr. Clean, these erasers. They really work good. I don't use much chemicals because they keep it clean. Basically, I just want to change the water and clean the pipes inside. And this cleaner will clean the inside, or the shell also. It's called System Clean. And I buy all my chemicals through Pool Geek. Or no, that ain't right. Pool Geek, I think's what it was. No, I don't know where it's at. I'll never find it if I'm sitting here trying to look for it. I think the name of it is Pool Geek. They've got the best prices. They're cheaper than Spall Depot. And Amazon is too high. I just don't get a very good price from them. And I shop. All it amounts to is a little bit of clicking here and there. Okay, Brian. Yeah, and our fine, outstanding president, he's going to cause Amazon to start charging taxes now. I mean, they was charging local taxes, but if they in another state they didn't charge tax. So I don't buy from Amazon anyhow, and I never sign up to Prime because I don't buy that much from them. The chlorine that I buy it in a 5 pound granule bottle and bright and clear, and then up and down. Well, isn't that $100 a year? There you go. Prime items seem to cost more. Okay. But now they're going to start charging more tax or something. Yeah, because it's only 2 days shipping. Yep, you're right, Brian. Well, I don't know if they've started it yet, Brian. They was going to on the taxes. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it is. Well, I'm in Illinois and I haven't bought anything from Amazon here lately, so I don't know. Well, I don't know exactly how it is, Brian, but the president's got something to do with it. Now, I live in Illinois. Here, let me put that in there. That's my state. Hello, Conroy. It's morning for him. They're talking about we might have snow here again this weekend. We had a little bit of snow Easter night here in Illinois, southern Illinois, not Chicago. Hello, Christopher. Is Christopher and Nolan related? Okay. Now that's good to know. Good deal. Well, you're both welcome. And I am bust to everyone in the channel. Just to let you know. And Christopher has got 118 buses. So I'm going to post a link. That is Christopher Conroy's channel. If you would check him out, if you haven't already, show him some channel love. It'd be great. Yes. Hello, Nolan. You're welcome, and thank you, both of you. Well, thank everybody for being on here in the channel. Ireland. Yeah, that's where they're at. They said it's morning there. It's amazing that you got different time zone people in here. Okay, Brian, you take care. I have learned a lot, and I learned don't put a 9-volt battery to your tongue. Oh, I already knew that. Hee-haw. That's kind of like grabbing an electric fence. You won't do that but one time either. Now, I don't know if electric fences are different, but the one that we had, you could actually catch a hold of it if it was at the right time. You could hang on to it for a while before it bit you. 5:30 a.m. Okay, good night, Brian. Take care. But it just send out a charge, every so many seconds, and it wouldn't last very long. But you wouldn't hold it until it quit. I'll tell you that for sure. Once it bit you, you'd turn loose of it. Yep, they're up earlier than what I get up. Okay, there's a link to Nolan's channel. If you'd show him some channel love, he's got 220 buses. What is porridge? Porridge. I thought that was just in nursery rhymes or something. Um, Christopher, I really don't eat breakfast. Mainly, whatever I eat for supper, I don't eat until noon. I just have coffee in the morning. And the reason why I do that is because of my sugar. That's it. That's one thing I try to do to control my sugar. I get up in the morning and take a handful of pills and drink coffee until noon. Or, one pot. Me and the wife will share one pot of coffee. That's usually all the coffee we make. And then sometimes if I want more coffee, then I'll just use one of them K cups. Okay, Health Journey, I missed it. She's leaving. Good night to you, Health Journey. Well, people, let's see how long I've been on here. Says I've been on for 2 hours. But anyhow, everybody take the time to check everybody's channel out. Says I got 4 people on here. Uh, you have a great and outstanding evening. And I I'm tickled to death of each and every one of you that's still on here because without you, I wouldn't have a live stream. It's I always say our live stream because I have to have people to help me, and I've had a lot of support. So for now, everybody, may the peace and the power of the Lord be with you. Goodbye.